Well, hello. It is January the 29th, 2021, Friday. I'm Del Delbridge, and this is your Status Chat. And I thought, before I get into this week's numbers, I thought I just might point out a few things. People think, well, it's not getting any better. The world looks like it's terrible right now, and things didn't turn out well. Well, the only thing that is constant is change. And we've lived through worse times than this, and we'll live through worse times in the future. That's not a very cheerful thought. But do you think this is bad? There'll be something even worse in the future, and we'll get by with that too. Now, good news is it's at the end of January. We're in the middle of cold and flu season. Although for some reason it's all Rona and no colds or flu. Everything's Rona. But now that the election's over, we see how quickly the media tenor changes, and now no longer, Rona's not a problem anymore. It's not a problem. Some of the media outlets have not got the notice, and they're still pushing gloom and doom, particularly in the UK. The world is ending, Chicken Little is running around. But when we actually looked at the year-end totals for 2020, what did we find? We found that there was absolutely no excess deaths caused by Rona. None. If you looked at year over year in mortality rates, just from all causes, Rona was not a factor. It's math. Now, it doesn't mean that some people didn't get ill. Listen to me. It's cold and flu season. I'm working on the second week. I had the flu, developed pneumonia, trying to get over it now. But you know what? It's cold and flu season. And when we looked at all of a sudden, first year in major history where we don't have flu except for Rona, it's all about the same. It's a lot of hype and a lot of fear, a lot of manipulation. So you need to realize the things that trigger you, the things that frighten you, and work from there, which is one of the things I'm going to talk about. No doubt that the policies being put out in January are messing with the economy and are going to be disastrous for the economy, such as energy prices. They're already working on destroying the low gasoline and oil prices, I think, as a precursor for pushing Green New Deal. Green New this, Green New that. And I have nothing against green energy. I drive a Prius and a truck. I'm not against it. It has to make sense, though. If we have to cheat and fudge the numbers in order to get us to switch over to alternate energy, then the alternate energy is not an alternate. It's not even a substitute. It's a more expensive replacement. But we're beginning to see gas prices. Now, I started to bring you a chart on gas prices. We're nowhere near our peak gas yet. Peak oil. I can remember for decades, peak oil, we're at peak oil, we're going to run out. It's all a bunch of fear-mongering. If you can keep your head about you while others are losing theirs, then you will be a man. The little Rudyard Kipling, I think that's who did that. So just stay calm. We're Tennessee. We're Americans. We can deal with this. We have seen worse than this before, and I guarantee you we're going to see worse than this in the future. So what are you going to do? Sit around and mope and cry and worry? That's not going to do you any good. Not going to do me any good. So get up, get active, and let's get something done. So I did think I would show you this. This is the chart from the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, civilian unemployment. And we can see that in 2008, and you remember what happened in 2008, suddenly we doubled unemployment rate. The policies of those in charge caused the economy to ruination. It was deliberate. The policies that put it there, it jumped up from 5% to 10%. And then it got so high for so long, they had to change how we counted our numbers so that they could show that it really wasn't as bad as it really was, that the numbers showed. So they started changing from jobs created, because you can count when someplace closes down, and you can count when someplace opens up. So that was, you just net those two out. So they came up with a nonsense term, saved or created. Because who can prove that something was going to close and didn't close? That reminds me of a man who tried to sell me a dead mule one time. Tried to convince me it was better than a regular mule because this one I didn't have to put fences up. And he didn't eat anything. And he didn't make noise at night. Don't try to sell me a dead mule. If unemployment is 10%, it's 10%. Don't try to create, but we save some jobs, so we save 3%, so it's not really 10, it's only 7%. Oh, look how much better we're doing under our watch. But I have a chart from BLS that says it got better from there. And we were at a minimum, we were at our all-time lowest in history, way down nationally, all the way down to let's see, 3.5% national among all ethnic groups, among all ages, both genders, and it was 3.6%. Then we hit the April 2020 spike when we shut the nation down. Again, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but we were told that when Rona started, it was going to be a worldwide pandemic on scale with the Black Death and so many other things. And in fact, it would have an RO of 5.7 and it was going to be disastrous, and turns out it wasn't. When we looked at the December 2020 mortality rates, death from all causes in the United States, there was no huge 20 million or 2 million spike in mortality. It wasn't there. So it was a year just like any other year. But the whole year we spent listening to the fear, other people telling us to be afraid. And I don't think that's a good thing. If you're going to listen to anyone tell you to be afraid, listen to your own heart. Don't let someone else tell you to be afraid. At least that's the way I feel. I look at the numbers, not seeing it. I have no doubt that the virus is real. Hey, I can't talk. But is it what they're making it out to be? And it occupies people. It's a diversion. It occupies people what's really going on. I think we live in Tennessee and in the United States. We are in great shape. Even compared to others coming out of this, we're in great shape. Now, nationally, we spiked in April when they shut everything down. It was about 13.3%, and then it has come down in December to 6.7%. Now, closing off the pipeline and raising fuel prices and raising minimum wages is going to result in another huge increase in unemployment. But in our area, in our county, Rutherford County, where I'm out of, it is not a significant unemployment rate. We're in great shape compared. Now, some of my neighboring counties are going to have a little harder time, I think. I could see easily that they have a harder time. But anyway, so we got to run our little advertisement that we do every week. Let's get that over with.
Hello, I'm Del Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, CallDelToSell. That's one L in Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today.
Now that we've sat through that, let's look at last week's numbers. Last week's numbers were, we had 10,605 available in the system, in the Real Scout system. Get your account today, with 4,314 in the under contract still showing. That was up over the previous week, and that ratio is 41%. which was also increased slightly over the previous period. This week, just a while ago, we had 10,391 opportunities, which was a slight decrease, and the 4,370 slight increase in the availables and still showing, under contract still showing, and the ratio did tip up to 42%, which isn't significant, it's just 1 point. So that's not too bad. So the future is ours. We've seen rougher times. We survived this. We'll survive whatever else they throw at us. We are Tennessee. We got it going on. There are places all over the United States wish they had it this good. So keep your chin up, keep your spirits up. We're going to be okay. Maybe we'll get knocked down, get a little dusty. I've had a little dust